Time now for your Bright Spot of News, brought to you by Paul's Designer Showroom on Lake Lorraine in Sioux Falls. They can brighten any room with a beautiful light fixture. And we're going to brighten your holidays right now with an amazing story that you might not know.
What do you know about that? Merry Christmas!
This time of year, you can't flip through the channels without coming across a little movie called It's a Wonderful Life. We actually just watched it on Amazon Prime. For the first time in my life, I watched it in color. This movie stars a guy by the name of Jimmy Stewart. Now, here's the wonderful story that you might not know about It's a Wonderful Life. Just a few months after winning his 1941 Academy Award for Best Actor in a movie called The Philadelphia Story, Jimmy Stewart, one of the best-known actors of the day, left Hollywood, and he joined the U.S. Army. He was the first big-name movie star to enlist in World War II. Now, he was an accomplished private pilot. He was 33 years old at the time, and he became a U.S. Army Air Force aviator. He earned a second lieutenant commission in early 1942. With his huge celebrity status and huge popularity with the American public, he was assigned to star in recruitment films and go out and attend rallies and train younger pilots. But Jimmy Stewart didn't want to do that. He wanted to fly combat missions in Europe, not spend his time stateside.
I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm going to see the world.
By 1944, frustrated and feeling the war was passing him by, he asked his commanding officer to transfer him to a unit deployed to Europe. His request was granted.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Stewart, now a captain, was sent to England, where he spent the next 18 months flying B-24 Liberator bombers over Germany. Throughout his time overseas, the U.S. Air Corps top brass tried to keep the popular movie star from flying over enemy territory. But Stewart would hear nothing of it. Determined to lead by example, he bucked the system and assigned himself to every combat mission he could. By the end of the war, he was one of the most respected and most decorated pilots in his unit. But his wartime service came at a high personal price. In the final months of World War II, he was grounded for being what's called flak happy. Today we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. So when he returned to the United States in August of 1945, Jimmy Stewart was a changed man. He lost so much weight he looked sickly. He rarely slept, and when he did, he had nightmares of planes exploding and men falling through the air screaming. In one mission alone, he'd lost 13 planes and 130 men, most of whom he knew personally. Jimmy Stewart was depressed. He couldn't focus. He refused to talk to anyone about his experiences in the war. His acting career was all but over. One of Stewart's biographers put it this way: every decision he made during the war was going to preserve life or cost life. He took back to Hollywood all the stresses he had built up. So in 1946, he got his big break. He took the role as George Bailey, the suicidal father in a little movie called It's a Wonderful Life. The rest, as they say, is history.
Merry Christmas, you wonderful Billy and Lou!
But what you may not know is actors and crew on the set realized that in many of the disturbing scenes, George Bailey unraveling in front of his family or at the bar,
Dear Father in heaven,
Stewart wasn't acting. His PTSD was captured on film.
I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope.
Despite Stewart's inner turmoil, making the movie was therapeutic for the combat veteran. He would go on to become one of the most accomplished and loved actors in American history. When asked in 1941 why he wanted to leave his acting career to fly combat missions over Nazi Germany, he said, "This country's conscience is bigger than all of the studios in Hollywood put together. And the time will come when we'll have to fight." While fighting in Europe, Stewart's Oscar statue was proudly displayed in his father's Pennsylvania hardware store. Throughout his life, the beloved actor always said his father, a World War I veteran, was the person who had made the biggest impact on him.
A toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town.
Jimmy Stewart was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1985, and sadly we lost Jimmy Stewart in 1997 at the age of 89. So as you flip through the channels this long holiday weekend, you'll probably see a little movie called It's a Wonderful Life.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right.
Whether you watch it or not,
That's right.
in black and white or in color,
Attaboy, Clarence.
I hope you'll remember the wonderful man who made a sacrifice, Jimmy Stewart, and all of the men and women who gave up so much to serve their country, many of whom are serving right now, and they're missing Christmas with their family. To each and every one of them, and to you, Merry Christmas from Sunny Radio.